Hey everyone, it's FaithNo45. Today is going to be a bit of a different video for everyone because on Tuesday evening they actually updated something on their dev workshop in the forums after DevStream 188 for the new player experiences, and they've added the dojo stuff to it as well. So I will leave a link for this webpage onto our video description so you can come check it out yourself, so you can see what all the changes are on your own time. But let's scroll down to the bottom, and if you go all the way down here, just past, there's like a rook plant with an Excalibur. Oh, here we go. So yeah, everything down here is the new Dojo Quality of Life stuff that they have updated, which wasn't originally added to the workshop, so I'd like to thank Karl Casey for pointing this out for everyone. I wouldn't have known otherwise, so yeah. And I will also leave a video link to our Dojo Wishlist video that I put out onto our channel in January, because a lot of the things that appear on this Quality of Life stuff also appeared on the video as well. And before we go for any of the points, I'd just like to say that since doing that wishlist video, I didn't anticipate anything being added to the dojos anytime soon or at all. So this is all very nice surprises, and obviously I've seen them already and I'm really chuffed with most of them. And we'll talk about them in a second, but thank you for DE for listening to us, and fingers crossed that it isn't the end of these quality of life changes, because there are so many more things that the dojos can be improved upon, and from functionality to things that we don't have. So yeah, fingers crossed that this starts a dojo revolution for things that can happen to our great building estate. So let's go through each of the points one by one, and yeah, let's talk about them. So the first thing that they've added was adding access to Q&A and region chat while being in the dojo, in line with relays and other social hubs. So this one wasn't on our wish list, but at the same time, I never knew that this was an issue. I think this is more aimed for players that are just regular Tenno that want to check out all of the chats if they're sitting in the dojo, doing their trades, stuff like that. You can disable these in your options as well, so I've never really had them on anyway, so it doesn't really affect me, but I know some people will probably like having all of the other chats, especially if you're a new player looking to find things out and you're chilling in the dojo doing trades. So that's fine, I'm happy with that. And yeah, so the next one is adding the option to build in preview mode to allow better visualization while building. Previewing decorations outside of the decoration mode will not change. So this is a big one. I think out of everything that you'll see in this list, I think this is the best one that they have added, because basically if you're unfamiliar with the building process, or you're a new builder, or you don't really see it as an issue. So as I highlighted in my wishes video, you spend most of your time basically going to and from the preview button, and especially if you're building on the opposite side of a room, you've got to run over there, and then you've got to glitch the console, move, and 60 seconds is just not a lot of time to look at all the angles, see what you can change. And yeah, especially if you build in yellow state and you find afterwards as well, that is a good change. So I think this is going to be great, because people can actually now build with the catalog in a sense that you can actually see it as you're building it, because again, you're almost guessing half the time when you load out an item and then bring out another one, will it match, until you can go to the preview console. So in terms of the quality of life, just the efficiency of it, amazing. I'm sure that most people in the dojo decorating community are now going to be building whilst in preview mode. I don't see there now to be a reason to build in the old mode personally, and I think most people agree with me there. So that is an amazing change, absolutely amazing. So moving on, we have adding the option to contribute to all unfunded decorations at the room console, brackets per room basis. No more need to fund all of the 1600 decorations of a room separately. The auto contribute from the vault feature remains unchanged. So again, another amazing change. I personally build with the funding already turned on, because I don't like doing the funding every single item, but I know some people do it like that, and I know that some clans like to not have any collision issues whilst they're building in yellow state. So that is honestly, another really good change. This is one of the suggestions that I think was brought up most in the Dojo Wishlist. A dozen times I think people said that, because most people do build in yellow state, believe it or not. I'm just not one of those people that do, but when I build in tributor, I always build in unfunded yellow state when you place items down as well, because you don't have to fund the tributor. But yeah, so again, another amazing change, and I assume this and the building in preview mode will probably be via the room console. So they'll probably add a little icon to say fund all items, and when you're at the console, a build in preview mode. I think it will just be as simple as having a console where you just select your option and then boom. Right, next up we have the rebalancing collision profiles of certain decorations to improve performance. Now, I don't know what items. I think it will probably be some bigger items that have quite a wide surface area, but at the moment we don't know what that is. It might just be to help with the collision of items in constrained movement. So again, if you're unfamiliar with what constrained movement is, or if you're a new player that's like, what the hell is collision? Basically it's how your items interact with each other. Like normally there's like surfaces you can walk on, how they phase in with each other basically when you do advanced decorating manipulation. So this should hopefully help things be moved better in constrained movement, but again we don't know really what items or the scope of it, so at the moment I don't really have much more to say on that. But it sounds great if a bunch of larger objects in particular get that improvement. So yeah, right. Next one, and this one again I think is something that was in one of my core tenets of the things that need to be changed. So honestly, this one I'm really grateful of, which is adding a room toggle to allow all members, even those without decoration permissions, to decorate it for when you want to let clan members decorate certain rooms without giving them access to already decorated spaces. Thank God we have this option. Again, if you haven't watched my wishlist video, basically at the moment you have to give out decoration permissions to people that want to decorate, and they're quite all-encompassing. It's every room, every item. You kind of have to give the main role, the dojo architect role, so that they can change skyboxes and do all of the things that they need to do to decorate in, and there is security risks by doing that. My own clan was actually impacted by this because I had a bunch of stuff deleted by someone, and then I found out on a prime time, and so it just wasn't a nice experience. But this is an amazing change because again, I assume that there will be a room console option that just says add decorator to room or something like that, and then you can just scroll through your clan members or type their name and select them, and it will give them the decoration permissions for just that room. This is going to be amazing because a big part of what holds dojo decorating back is the access for people that you wouldn't otherwise trust. So there's a high barrier of entry to get into dojo decorating currently, in that you need to be trusted, you need to be familiar with the systems, you normally have to ingratiate yourself with the clan that you're in, or you need to build up and develop your clan over a long period of time to do it yourself. So most people might want to go in and decorate in another clan because they have everything researched, they have resources to be able to fund decorating their projects. So it makes sense for clans to be able to actually have more permissions to give people rooms singular to decorate in and try them out, test them, and also not impact anyone else's work as well. So that measure of control for Warlords makes it so much easier to give people opportunities in the community. It means I can ask people now, and this is what clans can do, they can ask people, by the way, does anyone want a room to decorate in? And I know a lot of clans, they have systems where you might want to decorate your own bedroom or your own apartment in the dojo. I know that's quite popular, especially among like big mountain moon clans where higher level clan members can make their own space in the dojo. So that's going to be amazing. It means there's a lot more trust within the community, and you can actually have people build in your clan and try things out and learn their craft, and then not also impact the other parts of your dojo, which is a big part of why some experienced warlords don't give out permissions, because they've either learned the hard way, or it's like, oh, we don't want to lose what we have and we don't know if we can trust that certain somebody. So honestly, I'm so grateful that they listened to that part of the feedback to get more people involved in decorating. So yeah, I'll be interested to know which specific warlord roles have that, if it's the two at the top where it has everything, or if it's a certain role that'll be given out. But we'll find that out when Isleweaver drops. So right, the next one is this is an exciting one. So adding a room toggle for members with warlord roles to lock rooms. These rooms cannot be edited in any way until a warlord unlocks it again, for when you want to make sure a room does not accidentally get altered. So again, this is very similar to the one above. I think in my wish list they were kind of like 2 points of a larger point about administration and security of the dojos. Now this was my idea that I put for the wish list, because again, it would have been great to protect my rooms when they were destroyed before that prime time where I found out everything had been destroyed. So yeah, but it means now that basically currently anyone can go into any room if you have permissions and just purge if they want to. They can delete anything, they can change anything, they can do whatever. So if I gave Vafari in my clan a room to decorate in, and he finished the room and I was happy with it and it didn't need to be altered, I'm assuming there would again be a room console where you just press lock room, and then it means he can't edit that room or delete the room, or no one else can get in there and delete it as well. So again, it gives that extra layer of security to the clan and the dojo to make sure that the builds stay in that said dojo. And this has been long needed. I've heard so many horror stories of people going in and changing things in dojos, even accidentally in it. Like I've heard of people that don't know how to uncancel a room, for example, and stuff like that. So this is a really, really good bunch of administration changes. Again, I think everything's just going to go through the main room console itself to get this stuff done. So yeah, I'm really happy with this change. Those last two in particular are absolutely amazing for warlords and getting people in as well. Next up, and again something as well that I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to, which is introducing a small set of Ostron and Solaris NPCs. A couple years ago now, Rebecca did say on a dev stream that they were going to add NPCs to the dojos, and then we haven't heard anything since, and I'm so glad that they're being introduced. So let me switch to my game so I can give a little preview of what I believe will be one of the NPCs. So I'm currently in the Nama Fortuna, and I'm assuming it will be people like this, the Solaris folk that are standing around, probably just with a little bit of motion and sway to them. And it will be very similar to the Ostron vendors as well, which are just like standing behind the kiosks, or just milling around the little markets and stuff like that. I can't see them walking like this, so it would be great. So there's been a lot of chat in the Discords that I'm in about this, thinking, are they going to be static or are they going to move? And I think based on the technical ability, I think they will just be static like this guy over here. It would be great if they could move him in paths, but obviously you'd probably have to build your build first and then place them afterwards. In Elder Scrolls Online, the game I played before I moved over to Warframe, basically in your houses you could actually code your NPCs with points. So literally point A, point B, and they would just literally move between those 2 points, and then they would have a set of almost like emotes that they would do whilst in inactive mode. So yeah, so I can't see them moving around, but even if we get ones like this that move statically, I would be very, very happy with. So yeah, I can't wait to see which specific models they add. And yeah, so it's them and the Ostron lot as well. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. I imagine a lot of people are going to be using them just to either populate their markets or their spawn rooms to give it a bit of life, similar to like, you know, this little section here. And then I think people use NPCs in cockpits for ships, planes, vehicles, you know, to give it like that pilot, which a lot of people either make their own or they just leave it empty for the Tenno to sit in. But so I know IK Project has a bunch of cap left to finally pilot all of his Gundams and Gypsy Dangers in Spectrum. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that. Alright, let's switch back to the list and we will look at the remaining other things on the QR changes. Right, so we're back with the main changes. Where do we pick up from? Here we go. So the next thing added was adding the second half of the 1999 decoration set, which, if you were familiar with on DevStream 184 or 185, I can't remember which one it was, they showed off the Rhino heirloom running around the Inspiration Hall with all of the new items in, and in the TechRot Encore update we got the first half of the decorations, which were like the balloons, the little air vents, the trash cans, lids, you know, the nice steel fences and stuff like that. So we got a lot of the small like detail decorations in there. It was a very good quality of life update for like general small items, and the other items that weren't shown off were the larger items, so like the electrical tower, the glass windows, some of the big green zoo fencing, the concrete slabs and pillars, and they weren't shown them, but fingers crossed they do add some of the Hulvania outside housing as well, which was very, very tasty. So it'd be nice to have some of the cool brick walls and the roofing as well, which to give us a more house orientated build set, which would be very nice. But so last time we got around 150 plus new decorations, so I assume it will be another 150 plus decorations. We will do another review of the second half of the decorations when they do come out, so to give everyone like a preview of everything new as well that they added. But yeah, I can't wait for the new decorations. They're always welcome. I wish we had more often, and I knew that the decorating wish list I pointed out every tile set that hadn't, so hopefully going forward they can go back and look at some of the things that we don't have, and maybe even occasionally from things like the Captura scenes and stuff like that, like which adds like 20 assets, like, you know, the second Dream Tree update with where Ballast would stand. I think I've botched the update name there, but but there's a couple assets in there that would be quite nice in the dojo. But anyway, I'm looking forward to new decorations as always. And then the last set of changes, and arguably some of the more controversial from what I've seen in some of the discords, are changes to the tributor. So we'll start with this one, which is adding a large tributor statue to make shadow art creation more accessible. We'll talk about all the points more, but let me read off. So next is introducing a maximum amount of tributor statues per dojo to maintain performance standards across all dojos. They pointed out 2 sub-points to this, which are: 1. Clans above the limit get to keep their placed tributor statues, but are not able to place further ones until they are below the maximum again. And we are looking to set a limit that will impact as few clans as possible, and hopefully the large tributor will ease the pain for those that are effective. And lastly, improving performance for tributor statues. Now, the reason why there's a bit of, and I don't think there's any more than just uncertainty, is about the cap for the tributor. So currently there is no cap for tributor, and people can place untold thousands. I know Dr. Lego in one of his clans has like 3,500 and he wants more. So I think in some clans it's hard to get into your dojo. There have been loading in issues where people can't even get in, or they get kicked out, or they're dropped from the session immediately. So I think of all the things in the dojos, the tributors do cause the most kickable offenses from the dojo. So you know, like you could just be doing a trade, you get host disconnected, or you get kicked out yourself, or you just sit in a load screen for too long and then you kind of have to reset your game. So I understand why they're doing it, don't get me wrong, like it'd be great if there wasn't a cap, but I understand why there is a cap. And it goes into the point above here, which is adding a large tributor shadow to make shadow art more accessible. Is probably there. It feels like a you know, okay, we're going to have a limit, but we're going to give you something that will make it more efficient, which is what I think the large tributor is for. And the large tributor is down here in the Ostron Cove, which for some reason has become DE's room for showcasing things whenever they do, which is great. So the red square here is the old classic Omega code from the tributor, and the big white one is the new one, which is 64 times 64, confirmed by Perzel. So it's literally 8 times larger in terms of you know, scale and size. And this is just 1 Omega. I'm assuming you can add 4 Omega, which would be way off of the screen by now. So they've given us something to basically say, look, we're going to reduce your cap. Again, we have no idea what the capacity change will be. So it could be 500, 800, 1,000. We just don't know yet. Hopefully it's a good mid-range number so people can actually place some tributor down, because they are still useful for obviously shadow art. And the controversy comes from clans that have, you know, registered a ton of shadow art and they've made a bunch of tributor and art, and they, you know, would still like to be able to use the new tributor as well, but they're just worried about, oh damn, I might have to remove tributor in order to be able to use them. So it's a big push and give. I mean, I already know I have to rework some of my rooms. My clan has placed 1,200-ish tributor, so I have a feeling I'll be over the limit, but I won't know until the update drops. But I will very much be looking forward to reducing the number of tributor I have anyway, because just solely, and it was pointed out to me by someone in my Discord, that basically with the new bigger ones like this, you can probably just reclaim a lot of capacity back for the room and to improve your shadow art as well, which is a massive win. Because currently, if you're looking at this tributor block here, so 1 tributor is free capacity, you can get 4 Omegas onto 1. To fill up this white space here, you might need like 30 tributor, maybe even more, to cover this 1 square, which probably would cost you 80 capacity. And then if you want 2 or 3 layers, that's 80, 160, 240 kind of thing. So the tributor capacity does stack up very quickly, and it means that you can't, you know, have a more expansive build with a room mask or add more details inside the tributor shadow art itself. So the ability to be able to reclaim capacity is a good thing, so I do like that change as well. I think with these tributor changes, I think that the positives outweigh the negatives. If we're going to get tributor improvement and a new tributor which can probably replace most of the tributors we have already to improve it, I don't see there being an issue at all. So I think they're positive. It's just going to be a bit annoying navigating the changeover to the new bigger squares. And generally the new bigger squares are going to be great because it opens a lot of build flexibility. So for windows, larger text, cyberpunky rooms, like you can probably get a better flexibility of what you can make in the dojo as well. So this single item that they'll add, the Mega Tributor, will be a very useful tool for most decorators. And again, I do like the fact that instead of having to place down, so again, you need what, like 30-40 tributors in a row, it's just so time consuming. One of the worst things about making tributor is literally just sitting there for 4 or 5 hours at a time, just inputting Omega, placing, inputting Omega, placing. It just goes on forever, especially if you're using on console and you'll have to type it into your in-game command as well. So yeah, it can be very laborsome, and sometimes it puts people off because it's like, oh, I'd rather just build a sculpture in 5 hours than sit and code tributor for 5 hours. So I get it. So this is a very nice change. It might prompt people to do more shadow art because it's just a long way of doing it currently, so that's great. I do like the large tributor to do that, and there'll be other symbols as well. So that's just the Omega code. There's other symbols that will probably actually have more of a use now that they'll be a bigger scale. So I'm looking forward to seeing how people will be able to use certain tributor to do different things. I know Mad Davos pointed out the mod set notch field, I can't remember what the exact code was, which is transparent, can probably be used for transparent windows, or Lego pointed out it could also be used for like small areas of water as well because it's transparent. So I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what, you know, some of these bigger tributors can do for some builds as well. So again, better flexibility is always a win when it comes to making stuff in the dojo. But yeah, so that was all of the changes that they added, from region chats, building in preview mode, a fund all option, rebalancing collision profiles, individual room permissions for decorators, a lock room permission for dojo safety, a small set of Ostron and Solaris NPCs, adding the second half of the 1999 decoration set, and a whole bunch of tributor changes and fixes. So all in all, there's, again, barring maybe a little bit of uncertainty on the tributor cap, which I'm sure we'll find out, and you know, it probably won't be too bad. Everything in this is just a massive win. I can't see any negatives about this that are truly there. So and what I like about all of these fixes are it's all efficiency fixes. So building in preview mode just means I'm going to save half my build time running to and from the console to see how things look. So that's going to be massive for decorators, and it'll probably improve most people because most people can now actually see their builds as they're building them. You know, a fund all option saves time because, again, it takes around an hour sometimes to fund, or more, to fund a 1600 field room. If you're doing piece by piece, it is a very long time. I've been there. That's why I switched to a vault function where I don't have to fund anything. You know, adding in new player stuff and Warlord stuff, again, solves a lot of the problems that we've had with security, and you know, then a bunch of things that they're adding from new decorations and NPCs, and then tributor fixes as well. So all in all, it's there to save time, including, like, again, I mentioned about saving time making shadow art, which is there. Again, it kind of like stops a lot of the time gating for dojo and means people can just get on and actually build, and it stops some of the really awkward, because dojos are awkward by nature. That's how I always describe them. They're just awkward to build in. So these are very welcome changes to cut down on the amount of time I would be doing, like, not building, because half of the time you're in the dojo, you're not building, you're checking things or typing out tributor or going to and from the preview mode or stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I can't believe that they added these changes, specifically the room function changes where you can add people to it. That will be the biggest impacted one in terms of like what will change the dojo community, being able to invite more people into it. So I'm really happy with all of these changes. And you know, I'd just like to point out, by the way, the new tributor, the large one, wasn't on our wish list. So someone at DE had that idea, and what an idea that is. So I like to say that's a great idea, whoever it was that thought that up. So yeah, very welcome. But yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff here that a lot of people should be excited for. I think we're all in, you know, unison to say that Isleweaver can't come quickly enough as well. And in addition, this wasn't even the first things that they started to do for the dojo community, but I'd also like to say thank you for as well, because also on my dojo wish list, I also opted to change the features on the star chart. And if you're wondering why the icons now appear as the tier colors, is because I vouched for it in my wish list, and then one day they just appeared, and it was a very welcoming sight to see the gold, bronze and silvers allocated on the star chart. So yeah, some very good changes that they've already made, and a bunch of bug fixes as well to restore the golds, and fixing of the fog and some of the texture issues in the dojo as well. So they have been giving the dojos a fair amount of love lately, and it's been very welcome to see. It's been much overdue and needed, and I'm happy we'll be getting some love, and hopefully more in the future as well, because you know, hopefully it picks up a few things in the community and we can get more things rolling, and you know, we can go from there. But no, thank you for Digital Extremes for listening to us, and yeah, for these changes. I think I speak on everyone to say, if there was one thing in the future you could add, is still Dojo Capturer. People are screaming for it, and I did see a bunch of Capturer fixes, so fingers crossed is being worked on. I know that the Dojo is a completely different beast compared to the set Capturer scene, so if it's feasible, great. If it isn't, we'll fully understand. We do have workarounds to film in the Dojo as it is. It's just very annoying of a moment to film in there, but fingers crossed for the future as well. But yeah, so people in the comments, let us know what your favourite of these changes were to the new Dojo Quality of Life wishlist. The update is the new Isleweaver update, which even includes the new Warframe Oraxia, and that comes out in June sometimes. There isn't any more dev streams until TennoCon, so we'll find out more when the update drops. So yeah, we'll be back to do a more comprehensive guide and tutorial on all the changes on how they impact the dojo when it comes around. But until then, all we can do is get excited, keep building, and kind of start planning for the future of the dojos when the update drops. I've been Faith45 of the Architects Anonymous. I think I speak on behalf of everyone. Nobody has said anything but positives about these changes as well. Absolutely everybody loves them, and we can't wait to see what they look like in reality as well. But right, I'll see you soon, and until Isleweaver, see you then.